Yeah, we back. Now, today's going to be a quick video. Information warfare continues. Now, today we're going to be talking about Human Rights Watch. Now, Human Rights Watch is a non-governmental organization, so they say, kind of similar to the Council on Foreign Relations, whereas the Council on Foreign Relations is more focused on U.S. foreign policy. Human Rights Watch is more focused on shaping the narrative and shaping public opinion. And just like the Council on Foreign Relations, Human Rights Watch is very similar in terms of whose interests they defend. And just like the Council on Foreign Relations, they're also based right here in the heart of New York City. Now, of course, on my channel, we've been keeping track of the propaganda campaign that's being waged currently by the entire Western propaganda apparatus, right? From the think tanks publishing hit pieces to now we have the human rights organizations coming out with their reports of ethnic massacres taking place. Take a look up on the screen. So Human Rights Watch came out with this report. They said this: Burkina Faso army is directing ethnic massacres. Now, listen, at this point, the adversary is just crashing out. The adversary is just crashing out at this point. He's just letting everything go, right? He's letting off the whole clip now. Within 1 month, at first they said, oh, he just dipping into gold reserves, right? First, it was just some allegations of corruption. Oh, he just dipping into gold reserves. Of course, the captain came out with the interview, crushed that. He said, listen, before I came on the scene, the country didn't even have no gold reserves until I came to power, right? Crushed that, threw that in the garbage, right? Now, right after that, they come out with articles saying this man is a war criminal committing ethnic massacres, committing crimes against humanity. Listen, the adversary is just crashing out. He's just dumbing out now. And in case you're wondering who this guy I got up on the screen, this is the executive director at Human Rights Watch. He is the one that is responsible for publishing this report saying that the captain is out here committing ethnic massacres against whole entire communities, right? This man right here, he got the inside knowledge. He got the inside information. Now, take a look up on the screen. Human Rights Watch accuses the Burkina Faso army of massacring over 130 Fulani civilians. Now, first things first, I just want to give the disclaimer. We have to make the difference. We have to make the separation between ordinary, innocent Fulani civilians and pedestrians that's just going about their business, going through their everyday life. And we have to make the separation between them and the radicalized extremists who may, fall victim into certain, organizations. But one thing we have to take into account is what the Western propaganda apparatus is attempting to do here is cause internal division inside the country. They're trying to reframe the narrative from Burkina Faso's military is fighting terrorism to now they're trying to reframe the narrative to Burkina Faso's military is committing ethnic massacres. Now let's continue. Burkina Faso's military is responsible for the massacre of more than 130 Fulani civilians during a March attack in the country's west, according to a report released by Human Rights Watch. The international watchdog said May 12th that the killings took place near the western town of Solenzo and may have claimed many more lives than currently documented. The Fulani ethnic group is frequently stigmatized in the Sahel, often accused of harboring ties to jihadist groups operating in the region. Now, let's break it down. Let's talk about it, right? Because the adversary is actually, as we can see, turning up the temperature on the captain right now. So we got to break it down, right? We got to debunk the propaganda. Now, this is how these narratives get framed by the Western propaganda apparatus. This is how it starts. So the government is fighting terrorism. Now, how does the government fighting terrorism turn into Captain Ibrahim Traoré is directing ethnic massacres? This is what happens. So a terrorist group launches an attack against the government. They might ride in on the motorbike. They might target a village. They might target a school. They might target a market, whatever they do. They target a public area and they commit an act of violence. All right. Now, the government, the military is going to respond militarily. They're going to respond with force. They're going to come back for retaliation. Now, when they respond militarily against the terrorist groups, they might launch an airstrike. They might come in and, shoot it out, bang it out. And then when they wipe out the terrorists, among those dead terrorists, there might be young Fulani men. There might be men who belong to the Fulani ethnic group. Right? Now, this is where the narrative gets twisted by the international media. The terrorists, contrary to popular belief, they also have mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and friends and family like everybody else. They have their own communities like everybody else. So the terrorists typically hide in plain sight amongst their communities, right? So when the military launches an operation against the terrorists, they frame the narrative and say that the military is targeting ethnic communities. When no, we're targeting the terrorist who happens to be congregating amongst his community. We're not targeting him because of his ethnicity. We're targeting him because he's engaging in acts of terrorism. But instead of the Western media accurately reporting on the story and saying that the Burkina Faso military launches a military operation against a terrorist stronghold, they say the Burkina Faso military has massacred civilians. Now, going back to what I say, how this is actually meant to cause internal division. Now, imagine you're a young Fulani boy, right? And you see these narratives playing out. Oh, they're targeting my community. The government is targeting my community. The government is trying to wipe out my community, right? What are you going to do? You're going to join the terrorist organization in order to defend your community. So that actually grows the ranks. That actually grows the numbers of the terrorist groups, because that is going to attract the young boys who may feel targeted by the government, when in reality, they're not targeted by the government, but that's the narrative that's being spread, right? The international media is saying, oh, Burkina Faso military is targeting the Fulani. So if you're a young Fulani in the Sahel, you're gonna be attracted to the terrorist groups. And keep in mind, like I said, this does not pertain to the entire ethnic group. We're only talking about the small faction of, young radicalized youth. Like I mentioned on the Patreon, I know Fulani brothers in real life. Them boys ain't strapping a bomb to their chest and, going out, committing jihad or nothing like that. So, like I said, we only talking about a certain segment of the community. Just want to put that out there first. But when you see these articles get published by organizations like Human Rights Watch, they serve two purposes. Number one, to discredit the leader, to delegitimize the leader, to slander the leader, right? As well as to increase the instability inside the country. Because like I said, it's a cycle. First, it starts out with a terrorist attack, right? Then the government retaliates. The government is going to hit back. Then they say the government, instead of saying the government is launching an operation against terrorists, they say the government is targeting certain ethnicities, right? The government is targeting innocent ethnic groups, right? So then if you're from that ethnic group, you feel targeted. So now you're going to join the ranks of the terrorists, right? You're going to be attracted and swayed by the messages of the terrorists. So now you're going to go join the terrorist groups, and then you're going to commit another terrorist attack. And then the government is going to hit back. Then they're going to say the government is attacking ethnicities, right? It's a cycle. And then more individuals, more young boys are going to join the terrorist groups. Then they go and launch another terrorist attack, and the cycle starts back again at step one. But in reality, the military is not targeting ethnicities. The military is targeting terrorists. It's like them gang members down in Haiti, right? They're just gang members who happen to be Haitian, right? But if you launch a military operation against them, you're not targeting Haitians. You're targeting gang members who engage in domestic terrorism, who happen to be Haitian, coincidentally, But you're not targeting an ethnic group. You're targeting those engaged in criminality who happen to be from a certain ethnicity. But obviously, as you can see, the narrative gets framed in a certain way to advance the agenda. Now, it wasn't only the captain that was targeted by Human Rights Watch, right? The commander-in-chief himself, President Assimi Goïta, they also accused his regime of targeting Fulanis. I know it's crazy. The man is married to a Fulani, right? President Assimi Goïta, his wife is Fulani. The first lady of the Confederation is Fulani, but they saying President Assimi Goïta, his government is targeting the Fulanis. Listen, the adversary don't even know how to do propaganda correctly anymore. Anyway, let's jump into the article. Take a look up on the screen. The security forces kidnap and kill civilians in central Mali. The Malian armed forces arrested and killed around 24 Fulani civilians who were rounded up at a livestock market in a central region of the West African country, according to a local activist, right? So a local activist, a random pedestrian, that's their source. A local activist in the region, some random Joe Schmo told us that Assimi Goïta's government was massacring dozens of Fulanis at the market. Bro, the propaganda is crazy. My man got a Fulani woman laid up at the house, and they saying he's massacring the civilians, the Fulani civilians in Mali. They say the captain is massacring the Fulani civilians. My God. Listen, the real true narrative is a lot of our Fulani brethren, for whatever reason, they can testify on their own behalf. For whatever reason, some of them are attracted to these organizations, right? Maybe for religious reasons, or maybe for, you know, the power that it may bring, or maybe for the money that it could provide, or whatever it is. But for whatever reason, some of them are attracted to these organizations. Now, when they get sucked into these organizations and commit acts of criminality in the name of these organizations, and the government strikes back against them, that is not the government attacking the Fulani community. No. No, that is the government attacking those engaged in criminality, but they're hiding behind their community, right? Now they're trying to make it seem like the government is attacking a certain community. Now, like I said before, that creates a cycle. Now, if you're a young boy in this community, you're going to feel targeted by the government. You're going to get brainwashed with these messages. The government is targeting you. The government is out to get you. Now you're going to join the ranks of these terrorist groups and commit acts of terror in the name of defending your community. And then the government is going to strike back once again. And like I said, it's a cycle. It's a destabilizing cycle. That's what they want. That's why they published the article, to cause internal division, ethnic division, discredit the government, slander the captain, slander the commander-in-chief Assimi Goïta, right? They saying Assimi Goïta is attacking Fulanis when he laid up raising a family with a Fulani woman. Man, listen, the adversary crashing out. The adversary seen all the love that the captain was getting over the past couple of weeks. Now he just crashing out, publishing all type of falsified, fraudulent articles. Man, it is crazy, man. The information warfare is raging like it's never raged before. Anyways, man, it's your boy Nefakari. That's Salim back in the building. Yes, indeed. Join the Patreon family, man. Join the Patreon family. You know we on that Patreon every single day. If you're not on the Patreon, you're going to be missing out. Listen, I still been coming with the videos on the YouTube because, listen, I want y'all to transition to that Patreon. So head over to that Patreon family. Listen, head over to the Patreon because you're missing the fire. You're missing the drops, right? We got like 16 videos over there on the Patreon that never been uploaded on YouTube. And the library is growing every single day. We add in the video to the library every single day. So like I said, man, head over to that Patreon so you never miss a beat. Head over to that Patreon, man. Subscribe to that Patreon, NTD 1814. Support the album, Sahel 1816. Go to my homepage, go to my playlist section. Enjoy the album. And I'm gone. Wait, hold up. I'm about to play a clip from the homie Zach Mkwesa. He actually dropped a video talking about this topic before. And we're going to end on that note. I'm going to play the clip and I'm gone. Peace.
So it doesn't matter where you come from. If you hold a gun against the people with the goals of unaliving them, you are you're in danger. You're not a child. You're not a Musi or Bambara. You're nothing. You're just a terrorist. Do you agree to that?
You are an enemy. For example, you. Imagine you are a soldier and you come across one of those 3 or 4 kids there. Either you eliminate them or they eliminate you. Because in reality, it's not their age that matters, but rather their weapon. And I think that in this case, awareness should be raised in a way that asks one, why are they using children for terrorism today? They have fought against child soldiers for a long time, but now this is worse, or maybe it's the same as child soldiers. But since the media that should be exposing this are on the side of those people, they won't talk about it. They're just waiting for these kids to be killed so they can use their images and their corpses as propaganda tools. But let me tell you something. It's about raising awareness to help African youth find a way out. What kind of future awaits these young people, a young person at that age who has taken up arms against their own country? What kind of future? At a time when young people in other countries or other parts of the world are competing to get into university, to receive good training, to land great jobs, whether in aeronautics, mechanics, or medicine. And yet here they are out in the bush playing with Kalashnikovs. Can you imagine these people living to 45 under such conditions? So the first people who are destroyed are these young men themselves. Before they even attack soldiers, before they kill or injure anyone, they themselves are the first victims without even realizing it. And all this is because of what? Because of the ignorance of the parents and because of the ignorance of those who allow their brothers and sisters to to join such movements.
Told me she loved me and said that it's real. So independent, ain't signing no deal. Feel like a king and I'm up at Cap Henry. I'm in the citadel, top of the hill. Trying to run up and we let off a cannon. Secret location, I'm keeping it sealed. You ain't retaliate, Franco Medina. Came to the country and he got killed. You ain't retaliate, Rafi Mans. Thought you was loyal, thought you was real. Didn't even want to come pick up the body. Had your man locked up, he died in the cell. Up at the palace, I'm throwing a party. Right on the south and I'm giving them hell. And my little shorty, she looking exotic. African features, she casting a spell. Run to the check like I work on my fitness. Wake up each morning and handle my business. Say that she love me, she want my genetics. Wanna get married and make it official. Wanna get married and have all my babies. Up in the city, I'm riding Mercedes. Up in the city, they treat me like royalty. Feeling like Dolph, talking about lords. Spreading my wings and I had to get fly. Up in the top, an incredible vibe. Came from the bottom, I'm up in the sky. Gave one look and said, baby, you fine. Wake up each morning and handle my business. They just be talking, you see me, I live it. Ride on my enemies, sounding like thunder. 1804, got that shit in my spirit. 1804 when I step in the building. 1804, and that's word of my mother. Rock my women and die for my brother. Never gon' fall when I'm deep under pressure. Tell them we back and they better accept it. Move like a king, every step is divine. Ride on my enemies with no exception. Taking revenge and I'm taking what's mine. Pour up a drink and it's time that we toast. Watching my back, keep my enemies close. Only the family, I stick with my brothers. Cannon's position outside of the coast. Heavy artillery for the protection. Move like a general, stick to the code. Feel like a king when I'm up in the north. Beautiful women, they trying to get chose. Launch an invasion all over the south. Capture the capital with all my woes. Look at my energy and my demeanor. Dripping that ice and that's head to my toes. Lately I'm flexing all on the Americans. Flexing my muscle on missing my road. Just got a carriage just coming from London. Boy, that shit cash, I ain't taking no loans. Boy, that shit cash, that's fresh on the boat. Enemy know I got millions in gold. Enemy know I got choppers and cannons. How did I do it? They can't understand it. How did I do it? It's cause I'm relentless. Call me King Harry, my name is cemented. Call me King Harry, I'm up in the palace. Call me King Harry, I'm raising the status.